Welcome to Movies That Move Me. I'm Elijah Winfrey. I'm a writer and director, and I'm here to talk about movies that inspired my creative process. My other hope with this is that I get to talk movies with people because I really enjoy doing that. So make sure if I'm talking about a movie you've seen, you leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. If you've never seen the movie that I'm talking about today, well, go watch it and then come back and talk to me because I'm anxious to hear your thoughts. So let's dive in to today's movie. Now, this one comes with a little bit of a disclaimer, okay? This is a sequel movie, okay? Other movies I've talked about are just one off movies. This is actually a sequel movie. So, potential spoiler warning, but it shouldn't be too bad, okay? The movie I'm going to talk about today is actually the third in the franchise. It is Beverly Hills Cop 3. Okay. Now, I know for a lot of Beverly Hills Cop fans are going, oh no, not that one. But to me, this one was the first one I ever saw, actually, believe it or not. My dad had this on VHS, and I remember watching this quite a bit, and I still watch this a lot to this day. I do watch the other two as well, but this one, because it was the first one I saw, is my favorite. Okay, is my favorite. But if you've never seen this film before, let's see how I can somehow talk in code where I don't ruin this thing for you, okay, if you've never seen it. So here's what the story is about briefly. Axel Foley, played by Eddie Murphy, while investigating a car theft ring, comes across something much bigger than that. The same men who killed his boss are running a counterfeit money ring out of a theme park in Los Angeles. Now, Beverly Hills Cop 3 came out in 1994, so I was like 1 year old when it came out. Uh, it is rated R. It is directed by John Landis. So obviously John Landis, he's got a whole history in it of itself. We're not going to get into all that as a director, but I do want to talk about this movie. So for me, a couple of things that stood out, okay, when I watched this film. Obviously, Eddie Murphy. Okay, very rarely does Eddie Murphy ever put out a bad performance. And the only reason why I say never put out a bad performance is because I haven't seen all of his performances. But the ones that I have seen are usually great. Okay, they're usually good for a laugh, and he also does a great job at serious roles as well. So I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan. That's the point of me saying all that. But one of the things I loved about this film was the action sequences. Like, to me, you have this detective who's trying to figure out things. He's going kind of undercover at an amusement park, and so they actually get the rides involved at one point in some of the action sequences, which I don't know how they did that, but I'm so thankful that they figured out a way to do it because it looks awesome in this film. I also loved the fact that Axel Foley wears a Detroit Lions jacket, and he's from Detroit because I'm a Detroit Lions fan. And if you search around this YouTube channel enough, you'll find the podcast that I do talking about the Detroit Lions. So I had to mention that somewhere. Moving on for my non-sports fans. I love how fun this movie is. Like, it is a very serious topic that they're tackling, but they do it in a fun way. And I know that this is not Eddie Murphy's favorite film that he's ever done. In fact, this is the one that he hates of the Beverly Hills Cop movies that he did. But for me, man, like I love this film. I love this film. Um, Again, it doesn't take itself too seriously because if it did, it would be uberly boring. Okay, but the comedy in this film for me works. The action sequences in this film work for me. And the dialogue. Again, I'm a huge fan of dialogue, and I love just how people talk to one another. And that's something I try my very best to pick up on so that I can make my conversations and my scripts feel like conversations in real life, which sounds simple, but it's actually very difficult to do. But I love that in this film. Again, love the action sequences, love how fun it is. If you've never seen this one before, I would encourage you, give it a watch, okay? Give it a watch. If you've seen it before, give it another watch, and when you go into it, just remember to have fun. I feel like a lot of times we look at movies nowadays, and it's like they have to have some message, or they have to have, these dire circumstances. All this weight are put on movies, and there's not enough movies out there nowadays where it's just Get your big old bucket of popcorn, get your soda, and just have a good time. And that to me is what this is. And as far as my inspiration from this film is, I try to make movies like that, where you just get your big bucket of popcorn, you get your soda. I'm not trying to get you a message. I'm trying to have you have a good time, have you escape reality for a little bit instead of having to stare it down. And I try to do that even while talking about serious things, much like this film did. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But like I said, I wanted to talk about this film, and I was like, how do I do that in a way that sounds intelligent? So hopefully I accomplished that. If you've seen this film before, even if you disagree with me, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a little spirited debate about this film. And are you excited about Beverly Hills Cop 4, which is going to be coming out? It's a Netflix movie, from what I understand. I'm excited about it. I think Eddie Murphy still got it. I don't think he'll ever lose it. And like I said, he's one of my favorites. So whether he's playing in Mulan, which I grew up with, or he's playing Shrek, not playing Shrek, playing Donkey in Shrek, you get what I'm saying. Basically, if Eddie Murphy's on the bill, I am going to put forward however many bills it takes for me to get a ticket. That's I'm a simple man. I see Eddie Murphy, I buy a ticket. But that is one of the movies that moved me, Beverly Hills Cop 3. Check it out if you haven't already. If you have, leave me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope all of that made sense, my friends.